yes, indeed, I do. My browser's now working much better. Oh, God, it's so much better. Oh, I'm so glad I did that. Fine. Share screen. Happiness Patrol. Now, as you may know, I have been watching and enjoying my season 25 Blu-ray box set. It's fantastic. I mean, again, this is so my era. I honestly, classic Doctor Who, when I was getting laid, is somehow better. I don't know how. Right? I don't know. That was a good time of my life, right? Classic Doctor Who, and I was getting laid. It's a good time of my life, right? So we're up to Happiness Patrol, which is a fantastic story, right? It's always been a fantastic story, and it really shows you how modern queer Doctor Who is shit, right? It's so bad at its job because this is. I would say this is queer camp Doctor Who, and it's brilliant. Oh, it really is. It's so bizarre. It's so different. They hated it on the Behind the Sofa feature. They absolutely hated it. They couldn't understand it at all. You had, I mean, the Sylvester was what Sylvester watched it with. It was Sylvester and Sophie. They liked it, right? Yeah, they watched it with Sheila Hancock. Right, and Sheila Hancock was like, I can't believe how good this is. And she didn't even watch the special edition, which is fabulous, right? Absolutely fabulous. We'll talk about that in a second. But who else do they have? They had Sophie Aldred. We'll talk about her in conversation. But Sheila Hancock joins. It was Bonnie Langford and Nicola Bryant. They were like, well, that was just weird. And then Sarah Sutton, Janet Fielding, and Wendy Pabrit, and they hated it. They absolutely hated it with every fiber of their being. They couldn't stand it at all, and they couldn't understand it. And this is okay. So I'm really glad we got season 25 out now because it shows you the Cartmel arc, right? The Andrew Cartmel arc, which is the first season he didn't really know what he was doing. He couldn't work it out. And they came up with two things from that first season, right? He had a rough idea, but he had the tone wrong, right? You could see it so clearly. The major influence on Andrew Cartmel Doctor Who, and this is the pinnacle of it, right? I think with Happiness Patrol, is 2000 AD, right? 2000 AD, Helen A is essentially a Judge Dredd villain, right? She's almost drawn by Carlos Urquiza, right? She would fit so easily and perfectly into the Judge Dredd universe. And that's really what the whole of this season is. It's Doctor Who if it was done by 2000 AD. In different ways or shape. I mean, you had, and 2000 AD at the same time was going through a bit of a rebirth. I mean, it was a couple of years before you had Revolver, but I think you had Crisis coming out, which was a sister one, and they had Judge Dredd magazine that was going well. So that was the tone Andrew Cartmel was going for, and he 100% succeeded in getting it. Now, the regular edition, it suffers from being cheap shit, right? And you don't really get to see much of the vision. The special edition is the only one I would watch, right? It's fabulous, and it just makes it scarier and more real, and it also makes it it makes it much more horrifying because it makes it more real. And once it's more real, the horror elements are much more horrific. Like the idea that there's been there have been mass killings, right? Genuinely terrifying. Hit me. So I'll show you some of the things they've added in, which just helps so much. Hang on, press the wrong button. Okay, that's weird. Again, this is like ripped right out of Judge Dredd. I'm on the wrong episode. That's why. Try that again. It's episode 3. Episode 1. The control thing is gone. Hang on, what's this? Mute video, remove from stage, full screen layout. No, okay, fine. I can control it from over here. So the fine, yeah. So the world building, it just puts it more in a real world here. Right, like it's amazing how they go into the studio work, and it just makes it into a more genuine and real story. So the studio work now suddenly feels, much more horrific, right? But I think where is it? You see, like these empty apartment blocks, where and it's genuinely frightening. Oh well, it was over here, which is giving her address. It's before they kill the obviously gay man. How do they cast him? All right, can we find the gayest man humanly possible? He's got to look super gay. Hang on, it was after this. They've been arrested in Candy Kitchen. No, it was before. It was. I just went past it. Belting performance by Sheila Hancock as well. She was obviously having a ton of fun. Oh no, it's not there. There's a bit where she's. It was towards the beginning. Yeah, it is here. It was towards the beginning. I was right. So she's giving her address, and you see what the city looks like.
and I would like to thank you for your sterling work in helping to track down the killjoys. And I would like to.
So yeah, this is really, really clever because you get the feeling like all these people have been killed.
Take this opportunity to quash the persistent rumors about mysterious disappearances and emphasize that Terra Alpha is now enjoying a life of happiness and peace.
Yeah, so this is like, towards the end of a final solution, and it's really, really creepy for it, right? And that becomes more. And then you put in the really fantastic elements like Candyman, right? Who works perfectly in this, right? Absolutely works perfectly in this. Oh, that Colin Howard cover. It's and you've got this like completely insane fascist regime. I mean, like, I think Starmer would be better if they were more like the Happiness Patrol, right? Where at least it was a bit fun, right? Starmer's not so bloody boring. He's the most boring totalitarian ever. It's unbelievable. Anyway, Matt Lucas in Gladiator. I thought he was. He's lost a lot of weight then, apparently. We'll talk about that in a second. Fine, sorry. It threw me off. Took me on a Gladiator. So again, this story, which you know very well, it really is in its best presentation possible for the special edition. It doesn't detract from the story. It just makes the story so much stronger, so much better. And then the story itself is a very good story. It's got this wonderful film noir thing. They wanted to film it in black and white. And John says, "Are you crazy?" Absolutely not. To Chris Clough, right? Why would you do that? That's absolutely insane. This is a mainstream, and I understand why he wanted to do it. I mean, he said in this interview he doesn't really know or understand Doctor Who at all, or science fiction. He doesn't like it. But it's weird that Candyman actually works in this. They have the Trevor Sigma stuff. And you do get the feeling of an empire toppling overnight, right? It's I think very, very strong, right? It's completely new, completely different, and yet really, really works as Doctor Who, right? In Andrew Cartmell's interview, which is on the Silver Nemesis disc, I got to watch Silver Nemesis next. Help me. There's an omnibus edition. I think I'll go with that. because Silver Nemesis is really shit. And I've watched the first part of the special edition and I fell asleep. It's bad, right? It's bad. So anyway, so what else you get in the disc? The extended and leader scenes. I never watched that stuff. Sophie Aldred interviews Leslie Dunlop. Now, that's the other weird thing about the Happiness Patrol, which I don't know who works for. It's they're all like, hot women in heels and short skirts, but they're not that sexy apart from Leslie Dunlop, right? They're more like old dancer look. Like, who's the name of it? Here, let me see the cast. What's the name? The one from Budgie. Doctor Who Happiness. We'll go to Wikipedia. Georgina Hale as Daisy Kay, right? So do you know how she was like a femme fatale in the 60s? And now, she was she's a bit milfy. And that's the thing. I say that's the problem with the Happiness Patrol in general. They're a bit milfy, right? And not good milfy. We'll have another. I'll pull that up. 21st episode. I mean, again, great legs. Great legs. I think is the prerequisite for the casting. And they all do have very good legs, right? They really do. This scene, by the way, they added in a couple of shots of fondant surprise coming down the pipes, and it made it genuinely more scary. Yeah, I just kind of wish the Happiness Patrol was a bit younger and hotter. like how this weird totalitarian state came about, who knows? It doesn't really make any sense. But it's like, Doctor Who is essentially a series of morality plays, which is what this is, and it's very good at doing that. Anyway, so story's great, and special edition is fantastic. So Leslie Dunlop interview. When Worlds Collide, a documentary analyzing the story's political ideology. Yeah, that's fun. It starts off with a piece on Newsnight saying, from 2010, saying Doctor Who got political in '88. Yes, I mean, it was when it came out, it was a reaction to the anti-gay stuff going, like Clause 28, I think. I wonder what I feel about that today, because I was very anti at the time. Right, girls, the 80s. Companion Sophie Aldred, Sarah Sun, and Janet Fielder recalled their time on Doctor Who, and they basically talk about what sexism is. They should have put Nicola Bryant in a ton of going live. Yeah, I love these. They have a ton of little clips from different things. Going live and Newsnight is very good. Now the Sophie Aldred in conversation with Matthew Sweet. These interviews are generally speaking fantastic, right? They really are generally fantastic. This is the second one she's done though, so I was like, well, this is weird. And what it really is mostly about is talking about a time coming back being Ace in Joda's final episode, right? Which hearing it from her perspective is really interesting, right? It's and I was talking about juxtaposing what Doctor Who then as opposed to now was. So it's an interesting interview, and it's a few years later, right? And it's been a while. I think the last interview was in 2019, 2020. And now, listen, 2021, you got a full interview of stuff like that's happened in the world since then. Like, her son's a drag queen, so she's very pro, drag queen story hour, that sort of thing. Which is right. I mean, So it's an interesting interview. I don't really agree with her much. I think I have a very different worldview. But good luck to her. Vive la difference. Also on the second disc, you have a Chris Cluffin conversation. That's weird, right? That is really, really strange, because you watch and go, what? There's very little of interest about Doctor Who. You have Doctor Who, he comes in the conversation about in the middle, But because I think he was just riding high after doing what's it called again? I completely lost my train of thought. After doing Mr. Bates and the Post Office. So they talk about that for the first bit. They talk about how he got into directing. And then his time with Doctor Who, and he just kind of bemused. He wasn't like the time with Doctor Who is he didn't really know. He just kept his head down, and did his job, even though it was fraught times behind the camera, right? Sarah and the Crappiness Patrol. That would be how it works out. So it's a really baffling extra. I don't understand why that's on it at all. For me, it really actually doesn't add at all. I would much rather hear from Alan Waring, who did a bunch of stories I liked. He did. One second. Was it this year, or did he do? Who directed? Oh, Alan Waring, right? Alan Waring directed Greatest Show in the Galaxy, which I'm really enjoying watching. Right, Ghostlight and Survival. I mean, 3 just banging, excellent episodes of Doctor Who, right? I'm really happy with all of those. Then lots of Casualty, apparently, in Emmerdale. Well, yeah, guy's got to make a living, I guess. But yeah, so I'd much rather have an interview with Alan Waring, right? He's done much better Doctor Who in my mind. Fine, so that's listen, this box set's fantastic. If you like the era, you like the era. But like, it's so great. I would buy this either way. But it's so great buying it and it actually being very, very good, right? It's actually being excellent, and it really is excellent. So yeah, another winner, right? And just, oh man, Pete McTeague, you did an excellent job with that special edition. I think it's probably the best one in the box set, right? Really an excellent job. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.